Hello and welcome to this new section on using AI to reduce bias and the first lecture in this course, AI for managers and leaders. So in this uh, section, we will talk about how to use AI to reduce bias and not outsource ethics that can help you address the threat of automation without accountability at the same time leverage the opportunity of human judgment plus leadership. And we will begin by taking in this lecture how to use AI only for to surface patterns and anomalies. Avoid final judgment using AI. So how do you think you can do that? How can you use AI for only, surfacing patterns, not final judgments? Any thoughts? You know, using AI to surface patterns and anomalies without making final judgment has to be a deliberate leadership and design choice. It can't happen on its own because doing that can preserve accountability, reduce bias, right? And ensure human judgment remains central. So it's important to make it deliberately happen, right? Now, let's take a look at a practical manager friendly framework that you can directly apply across all the functions like HR, finance, operation, risk, or customer experience. So, let's take a look at it. We need to start by reframing the role of AI from decision engine to sense making engine. Now, leaders must clearly, explicitly, define AI's role as AI exists to reveal what humans might miss, not to decide what must be done. That must be clearly stated upfront. And this reframing will change how models are built, interpreted, and governed. So start with reframing the role of AI from a decision engine to sense making engine. Then design AI outputs as signals, not answers. And to do that, you need to replace yes and no output with risk scores, you know, uh, trend shifts, outliers, confidence bands, comparison to norms. Say, for example, instead of saying, in HR, reject candidate, AI making that statement, we should make sure that it starts saying candidate deviated from past performance on scale X. Instead of saying this transaction is a fraud, it should start saying transaction patterns differ, from um, uh, baseline by 3 3.2 sigma. And humans must interpret signals, AI should only highlight them. Right. Focus on three things AI does best. And what are these three things? First is the pattern detection at scale, in which AI identifies hidden correlations, nonlinear relationships, and long-term trends that track, we cannot track manually. We will miss manually as human beings. Second is anomaly detection, in which AI can flag outliers, sudden changes, and rare but high risk events. And third thing that we need to focus is on consistency checks, where AI can compare decisions across teams, outcomes versus historical norms, policy versus practice gaps. And none of these require AI to decide. These are, surfacing things, recognizing things, analyzing and visualizing and showing things. So focus on these three things that AI does best. You should require the context-rich explanation for every signal. Now, that should come from leaders. Leaders should mandate that AI output should include few things mandatorily always. And what are these things? The leader should say AI should tell you what has changed, what was it compared to what was the baseline compared to baseline, what has changed, how usual or unusual is this, and what data was used for this decision, for this recognition, and what is uncertain or missing in this whole thing. And this will prevent false precision and blind trust. So that's what you should ask AI to do. Then you should introduce human interpretation zones. You should, explicitly define where human judgment should step in. And examples of this are when patterns conflict with business context. The context is different and pattern is saying another thing. One is going north, one is going south. When anomalies involve people, ethics, or trust, three things. And when AI confidence itself is low or data is incomplete. Now, why? Because AI stops at insight where humans can complete the meaning. So, introduce human interpretation zones in your decision making. Then, separate insight generation from decision execution. Leaders should structurally decouple these two things: AI analytics systems like dashboards and alerts, and decision systems that include things like approvals and action. And how this will help is this will help prevent accidental automation of judgment. So separate insight generation from decision execution. Then you need to train managers to ask the right questions of AI. So instead of asking what should we do, the manager should ask questions like what patterns stand out. They should ask AI. What is different from normal in this pattern? What might explain this anomaly? And what is you as AI not seeing? And this will turn AI into a thinking partner. Then you need to track when human judgment overrides pattern. Make override review a learning loop, and that you can do by asking a few questions. You know, which anomalies matter? Which of the anomalies really had a possibility of impacting the businesses? Which were the noise on the other side, which was just plain simple, just simple deviation as a noise? And where did humans add value? And over time, with this, AI will improve, human judgment will sharpen, and trust will increase. So track where human judgment overrides patterns like this. Then you also need to protect against matrix myopia. Leaders must ensure AI does not optimize a single matrix blindly. Example, sales AI flags top performance only, but human judgment will check long-term customer trust, compliance behavior, and team impact because you could have a top performer compromising on these other things. Now, need to remember there is that AI only seeks number, it only reads number, where humans can see consequences. You need to codify this in the policy. You could have a simple governance rule like AI may surface insights, patterns, and anomalies, right? But it may not make final judgment in high impact decision. And this will keep automation powerful still, but safe. So codify this in the policy. Let's take a look at one line leadership takeaway that we can give. So let AI show you what has changed, but you as a human should decide what it means. So why should this whole system work? Because it preserves accountability of through human beings, reduces bias amplification by AI highlighting it, humans reviewing it, improves the quality of decisions again through a combination of two working together, AI and human beings, strengthens leadership relevance. Because leadership becomes relevant in reviewing the decisions where it is required, reviewing the biases where required, and builds trust with stakeholders. So what do we do next now? So in the next lecture, we will take a look at, the second part of using AI to reduce biases, not outsourcing ethics, is that is of mandating bias audits, explainability reviews, and scenario testing. How to do that? That's what we will take a look at in the next lecture. So thank you so much for watching this first lecture of using AI to reduce biases. I hope you continuing to learn new things, continuing to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions, and do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that you need to.